Exclusive.
This is a J.F.K. This is a J.F.K. Rewind. Read the description. Become a member today. Long gamers. Let's go. Let's get to it.
You know, she beat 2 murder cases in 2 years. I mean, and it's only been 3 weeks. So I think that, we got to hold the level of respect what really went on here. And we got to be clear. Let's be clear to the people out there, especially the casual fans. John O'Keefe been on the ground for 40 months. He ain't coming back. And this is the pivot. And if you're joining us right now on a rewind, I go by the name of J.F.K.
I go by the name of James Jackson.
And I go by Kev.
And if you're watching us on a premiere right now, or you're watching us live, or you just caught on and you're still confused on if Karen did this or not, or you just don't know the ins and outs of the cases, and now you're clicked on with JFK, James Jackson, Kev, and you're like, I like these guys, I like this channel, and you're picking up what we're putting down. We appreciate you. And we're here to say the new pivot. The pivot is people are going to talk shit. They're going to talk shit. And most importantly, they're going to say that Karen got away with murder. That's what happened here. It was an injustice. The jury was tainted. She got away with murder. And then in the meantime, they're going to try to break this movement apart. Because at the end of the day, the pivot is to line these motherfuckers up who really did John dirty.
Right.
We talk about Higgins. He did John dirty. Big Bad Brian A. did John dirty. But there's one person that did John extra dirty. Not only did she do John dirty, he did Karen dirty. Like I said, if you're a casual fan and you're still on the fence, or you believe that she didn't do this, whatever you believe, it really doesn't matter. Karen is free, and I'm cool with that. But keep in mind, let's just talk about the common sense. Jen Mccabe, this woman right here. Why'd you do Karen dirty?
Seems like she does everyone dirty that is in her path.
But it's the pivot, man. Like we still got work to do. Ain't no time to complain when we got a job to do.
It's like, yo, this woman was outside her sister's house making a 911 call. Why didn't you run inside your sister's house to make the 911 call? Guys, wake up. John's out here dying. Like, that's reality. But the other side will say, no, John got hit. His phone dropped at this time and this. Come on, man. That's reality.
Why'd you do Karen dirty? Let's listen to the 911 tape.
What's going on?
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow.
34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass. There's a guy passed out in the snow.
How many times do you think she's been there?
There's a man passed out in the snow.
There's a man passed out in the snow. That was the first time she said a man.
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow.
Then she said the guy.
There's a man passed out in the snow. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow.
What's going on?
I mean, Jay.
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow.
I feel like when she's saying that shit, she's trying to distance herself from John O'Keefe. She knows what the fuck happened. And by her saying that shit, it's like she can't come to face the fact that, or say his name.
She turned her back when he was getting put in the ambulance, Kevin.
But, I mean,
the guy and the man.
The guy, the man, and you're right. That is she's distancing herself.
They're pumping on this dude. They're they're checking for a pulse, and this is the shit she's saying. She's like trying to like say to myself, fuck, like I can't look at this,
She was on script. The man, the guy, she knows if she would have ever said, Officer John O'Keefe.
John
She knows
O'Keefe.
she got the clout card. She comes from a cop family. Her best friend is Brian Albert. She knows if she says cop, what's going to happen. And what would happen, James?
Every surrounding city, every target fucking undercover that thinks he chased, every guy that chases fire engines, they would have been there.
And
There would have been a helicopter on that front
Helicopter
lawn.
would have landed on that lawn, everything.
Yeah,
So
like-
you don't think that was specific her to be told? Listen, say this.
That's
Say this.
right.
Brian Albert told her, say guy or man, and she didn't know if she said guy first or man first, so she used one or the other both times.
That's what I'm getting
Because
at, bro.
I'm telling you, man, this guy's a first. He's a slick guy when it comes to that.
He's a
He's
professional.
Professional.
This is what we're dealing with the common sense. The 911 call came in, and this is what we heard on the 911 call.
There's a man passed out in the snow. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. There's a man passed out in the snow. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow.
What's going on?
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow.
She loved John.
She loved him. That was her friend.
You know, what I was trying to get at is that 911 call, in some sense, that could be the closest thing you have to a confession.
Oh, it gets better. And that's what we're getting at. It's back to the common sense. Common sense will dictate. Karen is free. You guys, people that don't know, the common fan right now that might be tuning into J.F.K. on a premiere right now, if you're watching on a premiere. And the chat is live. This is pre-recorded. That's okay. But you're here now. Karenread got done dirty by Jen Mccabe. Common sense will dictate on the 911 call. She said the guy, the man. But it gets better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Because we know if she would have ran in the house to get her brother-in-law, who's a Boston cop. Oh, by the way, John O'Keefe died a Boston cop. And he could have just called Boston police himself, Brian Albert. He was a Boston cop at the time, big bad Brian A. Boston police, let me give you a little bit of perspective. Boston police from Canton, Mass. Boston to Canton, Mass. It's not too far. There's back roads in Dorchester that you can take to get into Canton. The Boston police would have been on 95. They would have been cutting from West Roxbury. There would have been white and blue. The color in Boston is white and blue. There would have been white and blue all over 34 Fairview.
Lucky got lucky.
Tell you. Lucky doesn't even realize when
he don't even realize. He was in the scope. But it gets better than that, because what happened was Karen calls Jen. Karen wakes up Kaylee and says, I don't know where John is. She probably has a hunch at this point, regardless if she knew what was going on at the waterfall, if she knew what was going on from the car ride, the LX 570 ride from.
Smooth ride, too.
The point is, she had a hunch, and she called Jen through Kaylee. And Jen proceeded to say, hold on a minute, Karen. What's going on? And she said, I dropped them off at the waterfall, and I don't remember anything.
And that she left him at the waterfall.
And how do you respond?
I had just woken up. I was confused. I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? And then she, told me that they had gotten into a fight and she left him there, and now where is he? I remembered that Chris Albert had still been at the bar. Maybe John walked home with Chris, because Chris lives close to the waterfall. I told her that I was going to call Julie and see if John had ended up with Chris.
And what did you do then?
I called Julie Albert.
Call 911. She slipped up. And Alan Jackson caught it. But he didn't bring it back. He didn't bring back the rewind of what she said that Karen called her up and said, I don't remember anything. I dropped them at the waterfall. Because when she got on cross, now she said that on direct when Lally was directing her. But on cross, she said something different when they bring up the 911 call. And this is what she says.
Was that you?
Yes, that was.
Is that the 911 call?
Yes, it was.
And what did you just say?
I said, I don't know. He got out of the car.
And this was at 6:03 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
And that
Change
911 call,
positions.
you said he got out of the car, didn't you?
I did, because Karenread had told me that she had left him there.
What, if any, conversation do you have with her at that point?
She
fucked
proceeds to scream my name multiple times, that John didn't
This is what
come
she said.
home. She left him at the
What?
waterfall. Just woke.
John didn't come home. She left him at the waterfall. Didn't that's what she said when she called you? And what you say here on cross after you try to clean up the lie because you said you seen him get out the car on the 911 call?
Yeah.
I don't know. We got out the car. What?
He said, stop.
Was that you?
Yes, that was.
Is that you?
911 call?
Yes, it was.
And what did you just say?
I said, I don't know. He got out of the car.
And this was at 6:03 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
And that 911 call, you said he got out of the car, didn't you?
I did, because Karenread had told me that she had left him there. Got into a fight and that she left him at the waterfall.
What? What is it, Jen?
Right?
It's so crazy because you know what would happen. Like we said, even if it wasn't a sergeant or a detective, they would have a cruiser with someone just standing over an officer standing over John O'Keefe and not letting nobody, not let a dog go by him, nothing. He's an officer down, man. They don't play that shit.
Why would Jen Mccabe agree with Karen when Karen was in this crazy mindset? Why would she agree and say, let me hang up and see if he walked home with Chris
Chris lives
knowing
close to the
waterfall? But why would she say that when she seen him outside
Had eyes
34
on
Fairview?
They would text him.
Exactly.
They were talking on the phone.
They would text him, park behind me, blah, blah, blah.
They were talking on the phone.
Allegedly, the last one to talk to him.
The last one to talk to him was Jen McCabe.
God damn.
They talked for over a minute. They talked for 40-something seconds. She hung up. Then he called her back. Allegedly, it was about directions. That's where it gets suspect. What does Karen know in the vehicle? Because she heard that conversation, right? And around that time, at 12:20, a text message came in. Are you coming here? So what was type of time, type of mood was John on from that waterfall, from that interaction when we seen what happened at 11:58? Because we also seen what Jen McCabe was doing at the waterfall. Jen McCabe at the waterfall seen it all.
Yep.
Keep in mind, John O'Keefe text Jen McCabe. What's the address? Jen McCabe called him. Also keep in mind, when Jen McCabe said, let me hang up with you, Karen, and let me see if he walked home with Chris. After she got her story straight with Julie, because she did call Julie Albert. There's a reason for that. Trust me. When she called Karen back. The biggest mistake, James, what was it?
Karen answering that call. But now, as you say this, even more, we talk about this situation again. I just think about maybe that's why Peggy kept Jen so close, because Jen was the last one that spoke to her son. And she wanted to know, what did my son say to you? You know? Well, you never know how people act after situations like that.
Spicy McNugget said Karen waking up and calling Jen was her mistake. Yeah, that was her mistake. But the biggest mistake was that she answered the phone. Well, Kaylee answered the phone, and she got back on the phone with Jen after Jen said, I just talked to Julie. I just talked to Julie, and she said he didn't walk home from the waterfall. Oh, my God, Karen, what if he got hit by a plow? I want everybody to be clear about Jen McCabe that night. We talked about Jen McCabe this whole episode was on Jen McCabe. This is Jen McCabe that night at the bar. She knew everything. She knew what was going down. This is 11:58. Hands are up. Voices are being loud. The big bad Brian A. Higgins is being grabbed by the pizza man, an ATF agent, grabbed by the pizza man, and she's seeing it all, and she's very nervous.
But what I'm gonna say was that night too, she was so friendly to Karen, telling Karen, "You're coming with me." But as soon as this shit went down, she forgot about Karen. Now Carrie's
well, look, because Karen is looking over in that direction, right?
Yeah.
To the right, you got Karen, and then you got Karina. She's kind of looking in the direction that Higgins.
Karina can see.
But Karen's kind of looking over there too, and Jen is moving her hair like this, and she's looking right at Higgins, because at this point, Higgins is yelling at John, "Yo, come on, you coming? What's the deal?" Look at Jen McCabe, her reaction. She's frantic. She's bugging out. Look at her. John, oh my God, John. Holy shit. Oh, man. And then she walks right over to Chris. Right after they're yelling, she walks right over.
Yep.
So you see Higgins right underneath the 128 timestamp. He's pointing right at John, and Jen walks right over to Chris underneath the timestamp.
Karina heard that shit too.
And then there's a heel toe, man. There's a heel toe done right after that.
When you watch that video, JFK, Karina heard that shit too.
Jen McCabe was up to some shit. The guy got out the car. Karen called me and said, left him at the waterfall. Let me hang up with you and call Chris, Chris, see if he walked home. But yet, she talked to John for over a minute. She texted John. She was looking at John 3 hours before this phone call. And she doesn't remember that? She said, let me hang up. And that's the biggest mistake Karen made that day.
I mean,
that morning.
It's like 3
taking
hours
the phone
later.
call. Yeah. And that's how the plan was. So now the plan's in action. Now she got Karen where she wants it. Karen's reacting exactly the way she wants her to react. She's scared. She doesn't know what happened. She kind of feels responsible. Ed McCabe knew Karenread. Jen McCabe chilled with Karenread before. She knew John's kids, Kaylee and the other one, right? All due respect. She knew Karen. She didn't know Kerry. Why that morning? Common sense will dictate. Why that morning did she automatically side with Kerry Roberts and basically let Kerry Roberts talk shit about Karen when Karen's acting, quirking out, crashing out, whatever you want to call it, having an anxiety attack?
Yeah, but why? Why team up?
Why team up when that's her friend? So let's listen to Kerry Roberts real quick.
Looking for John?
Yes, he was.
Let's get into Kerry Roberts and what Kerry Roberts said. This is when the plan starts going real perfect.
Again, I don't know if I called her or she called me, but eventually we connected on the phone, and she said, I said, where are you? I'm waiting. And she said, I'm at Jen's house. And I said, Jen who? And she said, McCabe. She's going to drive my car. And then I don't know what the next step at this point was. I just wanted to check the house.
Oh, the next step was Jen saying, let's go to 34 Fairview.
I didn't know where Jen's house was. I knew the street. I had dropping Kaylee off or picked her up a few times.
I don't even know where Jen lives because I don't know this chick. I know. Where's the blankets?
Because I was having Jen get the baby blankets.
And this is what she says to the 911 call.
What's going on?
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. Okay, that's cool. She said the guy. Well, how about this? There's an officer down, and my brother-in-law's in the house, and he ain't answering either. They're both Boston police. Oh, my God.
They're both Boston cops. What if someone's out here killing Boston police?
Holy shit. I'm outraged.
That's outrageous.
And there's no fucking baby blankets to be found.
She's on the 911 call. the guy, Karen's getting belittled by Kerry because Kerry, deep down inside, thinks John is her man, right? So she feels a certain way, and Jen is capitalizing on the whole situation, is loving every minute of it. But yet Jen's supposed to be Karen's friend. Jen and Kerry did not know each other. So for Kerry acting a certain way towards Karen, just like James Jackson said, she wasn't out with him the whole night. She wasn't hanging out with him. Jen knew what went on the night before. She knows the vibes. And this is what went down. But yet she lets Kerry act the way she acts. She lets Kerry so-called take the wheel so she can help with the story. Now, common sense would dictate if she was really Karen's friend and really had nothing to do with this, she would have told Kerry, you need to calm down. Okay? And you know what else would common sense would dictate? She would, that morning when everybody left and the scene got cleared,
right?
Common sense would dictate that morning, if they had nothing to do with it, they would just call Karen and ask her that one question. There's nothing in the text messages saying, hey, did you hit Karen up? Did you see what she said? Did anybody get through to her? Did anybody see what happened? Nobody said that. They didn't want nothing to do. They wanted to keep her in the dark so they can line this shit up and hit her where it hurt. So she was arraigned 3 days later. This is what common sense dictates. Now, keep in mind that same day that goes down, 4:30 that day, from her husband and the group text from this saying
it
this.
will end. If she fights it, it will be an episode.
Around like the
Who's she?
I'm assuming that would be Miss Reed.
Listen to this.
She liked the text about
the previous text.
Yes. Pleads out, it will end. If she fights it,
if she pleads out, it will end.
It will be an episode.
Who's she?
I'm assuming that would be Miss Reed.
Selling something,
Just
so
a
I was like,
normal
I'm not the
mom.
homeowner.
Oh, no, I'm not the homeowner.
This is a girl who lied to the feds.
Not
This is
me.
a girl who manipulated this whole situation. We get it. How long to die in the cold? When you add all this shit up that I'm saying, the preponderance of evidence, likely that she had something to do with this, or likely that she didn't, or likely that she made that how long to die in the cold, or she didn't, based on everything I just broke down to you. Oh, fuck yeah, she Googled how long to die in the cold.
You don't feel so bad for her now, do you? Anybody on the other side, her getting harassed at games and shit. Listen to this woman, man.
That morning, if they had nothing to do with it, common sense would dictate. The first thing they would be texting is not if she pleads out. This will go away. If not, it will be an episode. They would be saying, did anybody hit her up and ask what happened to John? Poor John. What about Grace?
Has
What
anybody
about
heard from the kids yet? Who I can't believe who is his kids gonna end up with?
What do
You know, like normal shit. If this happened in a triangle, trifecta, disclaimer. I'm just saying, God forbid, and we had to go through this, these would be normal questions that we would ask each other. God damn, what's gonna happen with their kids, and what's gonna happen with, their dog and their cat and fucking his parrot. Who the fuck knows? You're just gonna ask those questions, man. You're not gonna be like, don't tell him the man never came in the house. Don't tell him that you don't live here. Fucking live there your whole life. No, I don't live here. Come on, man. Why are you lying? I don't know. It just doesn't, like J.F.K. always says, common sense would dictate. That's common sense.
What about, I mean, I often thought, like, if Karen was the one to call 911, how would she have described John in the snow?
Right.
Like, would she have said, I just found my boyfriend in the snow, he's beat up? That would fuck everything all up.
Yeah, but...
All right, and at that point, you told them that you were not Jennifer Mccabe. They asked you who you were, and you said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling something, so I was like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
You think they were selling Bibles?
I thought they were like selling something, so I was like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
No, I'm not the homeowner.
They asked you who you were, you said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling something, so I was like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
Oh no!
Oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
Question
What was
mark,
that, Higgins?
an exclamation point. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, an exclamation point with some question marks, question mark with a couple of exclamation points and then some type of emoji. Quotations, it's a smiley face. Question mark, exclamation point. What do you want from me? Question mark, 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 question mark. You're hot.
You're a hot monkey, girl!
You are
You're on
hot.
fire! The feds are watching!
Damn.
My name's Nicole.
With some type of emoji.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
What?
You already know. You are hot. The best soundbite ever.